Alrighty, I think I am live. And probably take a moment for the notifications to go out. So if you're watching this back in the future, hello. I'm just going to hang out here for a few moments and wait for some people to show up. And I'm thinking I should bring another light in here. I had another light in here, but it wasn't working properly, one of the heads on it. So I took it out of here, and I can see there's a little bit of shadow on my face now. Yeah, on the side where I don't have a light. Hey Maria, how's it going? Hey Just Me, hey Rob. Ooh, I think I need to turn that light off in the back. Yeah, let me turn that off. Hey Hunter, hey Sleepy, what's going on? Maria said cold out here. Yes, it's cold here too. All of a sudden the temperature just tanked today. Actually had some sleet today and then a little bit of hail for a very short period of time, but there were some pretty decent sized chunks for a few minutes, but it wasn't really really super solid. It was a little bit slightly wet, some of it. But yeah, we had some winter sleet / hail today. Most of it was just those pellets, but then it did pick up into hail for a little bit. I'll wait for a few more people to come in, and then I'll explain what we're going to do tonight. Actually, got a lot of cool stuff to share with everyone, so I figured I'd just chill here on a live stream and do this all together. -9 Celsius. I don't know how cold that is because I cannot remember my Celsius conversions. Hey, Likebot, how's it going? But yeah, all of a sudden it got really cold, especially later in the day here. We didn't have snow where I live, 42 degrees here. Yeah, that's not too bad. I don't know how cold it got today here, but we had definitely a wintry mix. So I guess it was at least around 32 Fahrenheit. Oh, 16 Fahrenheit. Yeah, that's pretty cold. It didn't get that cold today. Hey Jack, how's it going? Lightning in Ireland. Cool. All right, so we got 30 people in here. I'm going to explain the main part of the stream we're going to do tonight. I may wait a little bit to do it just to give some people time to get the notifications. But I picked up this little treasure chest at a flea market today. And it's full of coins. Interesting story on this. The guy originally wanted $5. Actually, it's the story is actually a little bit. I'll go into the story a little bit later, but I ended up technically getting this for free, but I'll explain. I'll explain later. But just a little sneak peek. We'll start in a little bit, but they are there's some tokens and stuff in here too, like from the U.S. But there's some Canadian coins I could see. I went through a little bit of it, and there's actually one pretty decent thing in here that I already researched because I wanted to pick it out and look at it, see what it was. I couldn't help myself. But mostly international coins. I can tell there's a lot of the big old British pennies from like the early 1900s. So this is an interesting box of stuff to pick up at a flea market. So we're going to do that shortly. We'll go through each coin at a time. And there's actually a very interesting kind of historic token in there that I saw that I already researched. I didn't go through everything. I just went through a couple of the things in here that I could kind of see that had me interested. So yeah, this chest I don't think is super old. It's just kind of a crafty type chest, but obviously the guy selling these has had a lot of old coins. So I'll get into that story here shortly. I'll hang out in the chat a little bit for a while, wait for some people to get in, and while I'm waiting, I'll probably go through some of the other stuff that I picked up today to kind of build up the story. Hey, keep digging. How's it going? Hey, Carol. And actually, this is pretty hefty. This is a decent sized chest for a mini one. It's got a lot of surface area in it. It's actually weighs quite a bit. Weighs probably about a pound. Those British pennies really weigh a lot too. There's a bunch of them in there. Hey, Coit, how's it going? Hey, Wes. All right, so we're going to do that shortly. I guess I'll just kind of go over some of the stuff that I picked up today from the flea market. It's kind of a ritual now. I'm doing that most Saturdays now. I really enjoy doing it. I'll start showing you all some of the stuff I picked up while we're waiting for some more people to come in, and I'll try to keep an eye on the chat here too. Also, as always, if anybody sends a super chat, I'll do a slam dunk just to say thank you. We'll do dunks for super chats as always. And yeah. So we'll get this out of the way. First find. Not something I personally really like too much because of the design, but I got this cast iron rooster. It's a doorstop. It is very, very heavy because it's cast iron. And I got that for $5. And I did look this up. The cheapest one on eBay was $18.95 plus shipping. Is an easy sale at $15, but I could probably sell it for $20, $22-ish there in my booth. So that was a good pickup for $5. I mean, that's not something you definitely wouldn't lose money on. Like I said, I personally don't like the design too much of this one, but somebody will definitely like it. It's just not my thing. Yeah, keep digging. It's definitely a toe buster. You hit into that one, you're not going to be having a good day. Sheila, how's it going? Martin, how's it going? Yeah, so that was a good pickup for $5. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'll easily be able to sell that for 15 plus. I'll probably start higher first, see if somebody buys it. Probably put it at like $22 or something. Let's see. Let's see where we can go next to build the story. Okay, this will be fun. A vintage vanity that's also a touch lamp from Remington. And somebody could tell me, I didn't do much research into this, but this thing is, hold on, let me figure out where I can set this here a second. Let me get the keyboard out of the way here because I don't really need this at the moment. Let's put this up here. All right. I don't have it on top of something. I'll have to sit here. We'll do this down here for a second. We'll do that a little bit lower here for a second. So this is actually a touch lamp. You can tell it's kind of corroded under this like chrome plating. So Remington, somebody can tell me, are they out of business? And of course, it's not the gun company. It's a different Remington. They used to make kind of like square mirror vanities that also lit up. I couldn't find this exact one online, but I found like the rectangle ones that light up. But I'm going to actually see if I can plug this in for everybody here. Treasure Tom said girls will like that lamp. Goodbye. Yeah, so here's the kicker. $5. And this thing weighs like 3 pounds. It's kind of crazy. It's definitely vintage. Like I said, it looks a little rustic, but people like that sometimes. It's some of the chrome plating is like rusted through in some spots. But it's a touch lamp too, which makes it very interesting. Okay. So we got it plugged in, and 3 different settings. I can't pick it up because it's going to adjust the light. But yeah, $5 I picked this up for. I don't really know exactly what it's worth. I saw a similar one on eBay. I can't remember. I think it was in the range of 25, but it wasn't the same brand, and I think they were a little more modern. Conair still makes these. I don't know if it's Remington Lighting Hunter. It just says REMINGTON across the front of it. I'll show you all here in a second. Oh, okay. Apparently, I can touch this part. This part doesn't do anything. It's just the base of it, I guess. You can see there. It says Remington. It's kind of shiny. I think it's from like the 70s, maybe. Just a guess. But yeah, 1, 2, 3. Works really good. It still works quite well. And there's also a plug on the side of it. I'm assuming if it's supposed to be used as a vanity, then maybe there's an extra plug on the side of it. I guess maybe if you need to use like a curling iron or any type of other accessory that plugs in, there's actually a plug in the side of it. So for the day, this was quite well thought out. And this is beefy. This thing is massive. Like I said, it weighs like 3 pounds or probably close to. It's very heavy. Yeah, no touch lamps in the 70s, said Jack. When did touch lamps start? I mean, I have some older Tiffany style lamps that are metal touch lamps. When did they start? Could it have been 80s? Like I said, I knew 70s. I knew it might not be that old. But the style of this, yeah, I think it was pushing it on that. I thought maybe it was like maybe 80s then. I'm not sure. But anyway. Pretty cool item. We'll go ahead and actually, let's see if I need some more lighting on this side of my face here. Let's try this. See how this works. This might work. That's weird. I can see myself. Ah, there we go. There we go. I got my lighting. It's like an old school YouTube ring light. That's too funny. Look at that. It works. And I actually like it because it's not super bright. It doesn't like blind you. Carol said, "Oh yeah, 70s had lighted mirrors." I thought so. I thought the touch lamps went to at least the 70s or before, because I know of some quite vintage pieces that have touch lamps. I just don't know how far back they go. Never really looked into that too much. All right. We'll get into the coins here shortly, because I think we let enough time for the notifications go out, but I'll show a few of the other things I picked up first, and then we'll get into the treasure chest in the story with that, and then we'll start to go through it here very soon. Okay, where can we go next? Let's see. Let me grab these things here. So I picked up this stuff for resale. I might keep the chest because it's a nice one. We'll see. But I got this stuff cheap. So first of all, I got this mirror. Hey, look at that. You can see the stream. Ooh, that's something else. So I picked up this gold mirror. Oh, a mirror in a mirror. How's that? How about that? And you can see my old wooden farmhouse log back there with barbed wire on it. Oh yeah, I can show you my house. I can show you in front of me where I could never show before. Here's my desk. Here's my microphone. How about that? My mouse pad. Oh yeah, and those things. That's a little spoiler. There you go. Table with stuff on it. I picked that up for $1. It's a cool shape. It'll be easy to hang in nooks and crannies of space that I have. That's an easy sell for like, I don't know, like $7-8. And then I got the next item. The person wanted $2 for this chest, which was already a great price. I can sell these for like 8 to 10. Keep in mind, I have to pay for the retail space for my booth, so I got to make quite a bit of money each month just to break even. But so I have the luxury of selling some things retail. But bought that for $2, and she threw this in for free. And you can see this is very sturdy. Very nice, sturdy wood drawers in it. So it's actually a pretty decent jewelry chest. It's got some nicks and scuffs. It's not perfect, but most of these are usually in really poor shape. So this one's pretty decent. So I picked up that for, we'll say $1.50, because she wanted 50 cents on this. So I ended up getting them both for $2. I didn't really personally have any interest in this. I don't like the style of this too much, but it's a yellow old trinket box with like a floral pattern on it. Has a couple chips in it. As you can see, this is how I do the stickers for my booth. I have to put my vendor code. Let me see if I can get this focus here a little better there. I have to put my vendor code, which is JDVC, and then you have to write the description of what it is and the price. So I'm going to try to get $4.99 for that. And anyway, that's just some insignificant stuff. The mirror, the jewelry chest, and this I paid only $3 for, which is pretty good. I will sell all of that for like 20, probably around 20 for everything when it's all said and done, roughly. Wes said touch lamps came out in the 50s. That sounds about right to me. That, off the top of my head, that would sound about right. Because I can't envision really any pre-World War II touch lamps either. So 50s sounds about right to me as well. So I'll take your word on that. Dizzy Draft, what's going on? Treasure Tom, how's it going? All right. Let's just start going. Well, I don't have much else to show. We'll go through some of the stuff later. There's 56 people here now. So I will start to go building up the story, going into the coins and explain it a little bit. So first of all, there was a vendor there that I haven't purchased from before. I've only gone to this flea market a few times, but it's not too far away from me. So it's actually nice to have it close by now that I'm doing this a lot more for fun now. And there was just one item that caught my eye. Of course, flea markets have a variety of vendors. There's people that are priced super cheap, some people that are priced really expensive, some people are kind of in the middle. And there's a different range of different types of vendors that sell all different kind of things. Some people are more vintage and antique things. Some people it's just, modern stuff, electronics, you name it. I'm sure everybody knows what flea markets are like. They're just, so there's something for everybody. But this was a more kind of vintage / antique booth. And I saw one thing that I actually thought was priced decent, and it was this old kettle, giant old kettle, and it had $10 on it, which actually was already quite reasonable to begin with. This is one of the booths that I would say is kind of usually in the medium to, I don't want to say high, but at least not a vendor that just has like a bunch of cheap stuff where you're going to buy a bunch of things just without thinking about the price. But I saw this and I really thought this would be a cool display or something easy to resell just because of the nature of it, of how it looks. And I knew the price was decent without even looking it up. So I was able to get them down to $7 on this. And on here it says Rome, R-O-M-E. And you can see the bottom of it is very corroded. And I know that this is not the original, what would you want to call, topper or whatever you want to call it, because this is kind of like just plastic. So I knew this was not original, that it probably broke off and somebody was trying to make it look better by putting this on there. So these are actually quite old. I can't remember the brand off the top of my head. I believe this was for Rome, New York, if I remember correctly. I just briefly looked it up. Now, the inside's in bad shape. I guess these at some point had a type of lining on the inside of them. It's like sort of like insulation. I don't really know much about these. But this, I was able to get for $7. And from what I can tell, they're quite old. They're around like turn of the century, around like 1900, if my quick research turned out right. And I did find the exact one on eBay. And also, it's so old. This handle actually used to be black. But as you can see, you can kind of see on the other side, there's still some black. But almost all of the black paint is worn off the wood handle. And the topper used to be wood, the original topper. I'm thinking actually going to keep this as a display because I really like it. Paid $7 for it. And the only one on eBay that matches it, well, there's one that's really expensive, but I did find this design on eBay. There's one for $40. And as just a display piece that's very antique, I know I could get like $35 for this if I wanted to sell it. So $7 I thought was a really good buy on that. It's pretty neat. Like I said, it's in quite rough shape, but it's more of a display piece. Okay, so building up to the story, this is where I got the coins. So there was a gentleman there, and I don't know the situation, nor is it relevant to the story I'm going to tell, nor is it any of my business. But he was bringing stuff in for the booth, but I know it wasn't his booth, so I don't know if he's somebody who brings stuff in for the vendor or like sells it to them, or they have some agreement. Like I said, none of my business, and not really relevant to the story. So they were kind of unloading stuff for the booth, and he was. I heard him pull out this chest, and you can hear the things rattle. And the vendor that runs the booth said, "Oh, you'll have to find somebody who's into to appraise coins to go through that or something." So I guess they weren't going to put it in the booth. And after I had bought the kettle, I said, "Hey, I've collected coins." I decided to interject myself. I said, "Hey, I decided to, I said I have collected coins all my life since I was young." And I said, if you want me to take a look at them, I could peek at them really quick just to give you an idea, ballpark of maybe what they're worth. So he pulled them out and gave them to me. And he said, if you want them, he said you can have the thing for $5. So I just popped it open, and I looked through it just for a minute, and I'm like, oh wow, there's a lot of the giant British pennies in there. And then I saw this, we'll get to in a second. It's a $2 Australian coin. You can still spend these. So this is literally $2 in Australia. I don't know what the conversion is right now. So I saw that kind of stuff, and I had to just glance at it for about 10, 15 seconds. And I'm like, I'm going to buy it. And I was thinking, should I just give them the $5, or should I say, in the spirit of the flea market stuff, it's just fun to negotiate a little bit. I don't try to push it with people, but I was thinking about maybe just telling them, hey, you want to take 4 for it or whatever. But as I was looking through it, I was telling them, I said, because I thought they were going to be U.S. coins, right? Old U.S. coins, maybe silver. And I said, these are, like international, like world coins. And I was talking to him. And so I was kind of toying around with it, looking through it a minute and getting ready to, make a deal with him on them. And he said, I've got a lot of these old coins and stuff. He said, if you want that, you can just have it. And I'm like, are you sure? I said, are you sure? He said, yeah, you can have it. I said, are you sure you don't want me to give you at least a few bucks for it? He said, no, you can just take it. He said, I have a lot of, the old coins like that. So apparently he has more. And, it came with the chest. And I kind of pushed him. I said, you sure you don't want, at least give me you want me to give you a few dollars for it? Because I kind of felt bad taking it. But he said, it's not my booth. He said, it's this lady's booth. He said, if you want to give her something, you can give her a few bucks or whatever. So I had asked her about these earlier. So since I didn't feel right taking that, so I had these, they had just put these out. These are little vintage Pepsi salt and pepper shakers. And I had asked them the price on these before I got the kettle, because if you're going to buy multiple things, you always want to buy everything at the same time so you can drive the price down. So I'd already asked the price on these before I bought the kettle, and they said $3. So to be nice, after I had already bought the kettle, I bought these two just to be nice, and because he was nice to give me these coins. So I bought something else from their booth. I don't know when these are from. They have plastic toppers. I don't know if these are probably from like the 70s or something, but they're in pretty good shape. A matching set for salt and pepper. I did look these up. They're very common. But the cheapest set on eBay is like $8. So if I decide to sell these, I should be able to get, $6-7 for them. Smaller items like this are a little more difficult to sell, but because they are Pepsi branded, people like that type of things more, like the common brands. So I did pick those up for $3. It's just kind of like a thank you for this guy giving me the coins. So here is the treasure chest of coins, and we'll start going through them now. Still, if anybody sends a super chat, I'll be doing slam dunks. It's always appreciated, but for now, we're going to pan the camera down. And I want to do this real carefully because messed up the stream last time messing with this camera. I pressed it too hard and it glitched or something. Let me see if I can. I wasn't really prepared for the stream. I want to maybe set them on top of something so at least everybody can kind of see the chest. What can I do here? I wasn't really thinking. Anyway, I can pull them out. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to see me going through them. So here's the chest. here's the coins you can see down in there. And I'm going to start with something really interesting first. And then we'll go from there. If I can see it, it got mixed back in. So here's an interesting find. Hey, Jan, how's it going? Oh, let me read this first. There's a patent for it in 1953. I thought the patent was 1984, but that was the version of the existing tech. Technology Connections did a video on them 3 years ago. Okay, cool. I'll have to watch this video. I watched a few of his videos before. Some of them are quite interesting. Nice, Wes. Good finds. So anyway, this was a token, and I've never found one of these before. When I say found, like metal detecting, I've never found similar to this. I found a lot of good for trade tokens, like small ones, 2.5 cents, 5 cents, that kind of type of thing. So this was in this thing of coins. I might have to add more light here. Let me see if this helps. That's funny. Let's see if this light helps. We may have to keep this thing. I'm going to have to fix the lighting here a little bit. You can tell I was not ready for this stream. And what I'm going to do is, come on, focus. I'm going to do this very quickly. I have another light. Actually, I'll grab it from this other room. I'll grab it right here. I have another giant light here I'll put behind, fix the lighting, and then we'll finish going through these. Let me turn this off. I'm just going to grab this one right here. Speaking of which, these are the best lamps ever, and Home Depot discontinued them, or the brand revamped them, and they're cheaper now. They no longer make them this solid anymore. But these are the best lamps ever, and I'm glad I have a bunch of them before they discontinued them. Okay. There we go. Much more light in here now. Jack, I do have a scope. I just have not messed with software and stuff for a long time, and different editing stuff. So I don't have the stream set up right now to be able to do the scope right now. I'll do that in the future if I keep doing more videos like this. But whoo, it's getting warm. Let me take one of these off. It's cold, so I have multiple layers on. All right. So here is this token, good for 5 cents in trade. Really nice one. And here is, look at the back. NCO open miss, Kessler AFB miss, which is Keesler, sorry, not Kessler. I keep wanting to say Kessler. Keesler Air Force Base, Mississippi. So this Air Force Base was opened during World War II, and there is a bronze variety of this, and then there's some newer ones, but this is identical to the bronze variety, except this one is aluminum. So I think this is probably the second type that ever came out. And I'm assuming this would either be from the mid to late 40s or maybe into the 1950s, but this is the original design except in aluminum instead of bronze. Or yeah, I think it was bronze. So I'm assuming the older, like the bronze or brass one, whatever it was, would have probably been the first one released. Now, the original one, the rarity index on it was like for tokens was like 97 out of 100, which is quite high on the website I was looking at. And there is one of the varieties of this that is a different metal but the same design, and it's on eBay for the cheapest one I could find is like $7. So this was in there, and it's a pretty cool find. It is really, really neat. Let me see. Get that to focus there. There we go. There we go. So that was randomly in these coins here. Hey, Queen Kelly, how's it going? Focus back on me. Okay, I'll show another coin while we're doing this here. So there's going to be a lot of these in here, these giant British pennies. There's one from 1961. With Queen Elizabeth II. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of these in there. So, yeah, we're just going to keep going through the coins. I just wanted to share a little bit of the story there going into it. I didn't look at everything in here, but I'll grab a couple more of the big pennies first because there's a lot of them in here. And a lot of these they seem to be, from my quick glance, they seem to be mostly from the early 1900s. So these are mostly, as you're going to see here, a lot of these are actually, I think it's Edward the Seventh. Is it the seventh, right? Yes. A lot of these are Edward the Seventh. So there you go, 1905 British penny. I really like these larger coins. And that's Edward the Seventh on there. So I haven't looked up value on these. I know the British pennies, unless you have a rare date, I know they're fairly common, but they do still carry, some value. People like them, especially because they're larger old coins. English pennies look bigger than U.S. half dollar. You know what? I don't actually know the size comparison. They're very close. They might be a hair smaller, but they're pretty close and not quite as thick as a half dollar. Well, actually pretty close. I don't have one right in front of me here to check with a half dollar. We'll grab another one here that's older. So this one's beat up, but this one's a George V. Let me see if this one darker colors might not be as good on the focusing. There you go, 1917. That one's kind of beat up, but that one's George V there. So I'll kind of put these in order to date in front of me. We already have Elizabeth II, George V, and Edward VII. Here's a nicer one that is George V. Actually, now that I'm going to do it this way, if I put this up here a little bit more, I think this is going to focus a little bit better. It doesn't like when the camera's angled down. Yeah, there we go. It's going to be a lot easier this way. I got it now. So really nice. Really good detail on that one. 1 penny, 1935. King George V. That's in very, very good condition. The other one was 1960. What was the newer one? 61. Michael, how's it going? Ringmaster Ray, how's it going? Good to see everybody. We'll grab one more of these and then we'll go to something different. Here's another old one. What was the first Edward? The first Edward was 1905. Here's a 1908. There you go, 1908. And fairly worn condition. I'm not going to show the back again because that's just Edward VII again. So it was cool that a lot of these coins were much older than I was anticipating. Here's a random one that was in there. Sebastian, how's it going? Yes, there's Canadian coinage in here. I know there's at least a nickel and a bunch of pennies. I'll pull them out. There's actually a lot of Canadian stuff in there. It's mostly, actually, from what I can see, a lot of it's British and Canadian. But here's one. Here's a fun one. It's not a coin. Chuck E. Cheese 2014. And if somebody wants to post in the chat, I can't remember exactly when they went out of business, but this is one of the later ones that's not very old. So that was in there also. It's weird. It was mostly world coins, outside of the US, but then there was US-based tokens. So it's an interesting mix. Let's let's grab a couple of these Canadian ones. There's a lot of older Canadian cents in here. I'll have to see. I don't think there's going to be anything too special as far as that. So here's just a look at one that's in there. I'm not going to show all of these. (1953), Queen Elizabeth II, and then Queen Elizabeth II, 1958, and then we have King George the Sixth, 1947. I kind of call these are basically like Canadian wheat pennies is what I call them, except they're maple leaf, but it's like the equivalent of a U.S. wheat penny. Let me grab a couple more of them because there's more in here. So there's 1943, and some of these are in really nice condition too. Some of these, like, really good condition. Sebastian said 22 to 26 are good. Okay, we'll keep an eye out for those dates because I definitely don't know the rare Canadian coins off the top of my head. Then there's some semi-modern ones: 1966, 1964. Let's pull out. I see one more of those there. And then there's a 1942. Okay, let's grab something else interesting here first. Actually, let's just grab a couple of these Canadian ones out of the way. I got a couple more of them here. We'll look at the dates real quick. For anybody just coming in, here's the little chest we're going through right here. So there's the oldest one so far, 1940. 1966, 1963, and another 1963. The 47 Canadian with a little maple leaf under the date is a 1948. Interesting. I'm not up on my Canadian coins right now. And there's actually, I'll be showing some of these. There's quite a few coins in this chest that actually have holes through them that were either used as like off of a coin, like coin bracelets, right? Some of them have the two holes on the sides that were like linked together, and some just have one hole on the top, which could have been used as a pendant. But also a lot of these, there were like dangle bracelets and stuff too. So here's one that somebody like silver plated, because I know this is not the original color of these, but this is a 5 centavos from Mexico, 1956. That somebody made into a jewelry piece. So that's pretty interesting. I've actually found one or two of these metal detecting. Actually, I've dug so much stuff in the US that I've actually found a couple of these older Mexican coins as well that had made their way the whole way up to Tennessee somehow. I actually have an ashtray that's made. I'll show another coin in a second while that's blurry. Let's just show another Canadian cent I pulled out of there. 1945, another one from the thing there. So yeah, I've actually found like one or two of these metal detecting this exact design. They're kind of goldish in color actually when they're new, but then they just kind of turn brown over time and have a little bit of yellow color sometimes. Sebastian said they are all still copper, worth 2.5 face or so. Yeah, and absolutely. All of the older Canadians, I would never get rid of them or anything, especially anything that's like pre-1960. I like collecting that kind of stuff. Just make a roll of them or something. Anyway, let's keep going here. On the theme of the hold ones that was on a bracelet, here's a really cool one. I've always liked the older Australian coins. Super cool. It's actually a bucket list of mine to dig one of these old big Australian roux pennies. I've never found one, or like a silver ram's head. I've always wanted to find one of these, which would be very rare to find in the US. But I have found one of the Australian coins from the 60s. I can't remember which animal was on it. It looks like some sort of possum or something. I can't remember what type of animal it was. It's not a possum. I just can't remember exactly what animal it was. Anyway, this is a kangaroo penny. can get this to focus here. There we go. 1943. This was obviously on a coin bracelet. Australian coins, British coins, Mexican coins, all types of coins that were frequently made into coin bracelets. And of course, we still have we have King George VI on that one, of course, being Australia, part of the Commonwealth. So similar to the British pennies. And let's see, let's go in. Speaking of Mexican coins, this is a common one that you always find in world coin lots. I've had lots of these over the years, so to me this isn't anything really special. But they're nice, bigger coins. 1975. 1 peso. Back over to Canadians, we have a 1953 Canadian nickel in very nice condition. Very shiny still. Queen Elizabeth II. And, oh, here's something random that was in here that's not a coin. I checked it. It's not silver. It's just a piece of cheap jewelry. But there was like a, I guess this is more of a, is this an earring? Yeah, just a cheap earring. I don't think that's cubic zirconia. It's pretty big. It could be, actually, but it's not silver. It's just a little cheap piece of cheap jewelry that was in there. Let's see. Okay, let's take out one of these older ones. Now, this is a British halfpenny. This is smaller than all the other ones. Very worn, 1916. King George V on that one. That's a halfpenny. And then we have a newer, slightly newer than that, British halfpenny, which is the ship halfpenny. And I've actually found quite a few of these metal detecting in the US. I've actually dug up like 4 of these. It's a very common older coin. And I've actually been very thankful. I've been able to find quite a few of these here in the US, believe it or not. I haven't found one in a long time, but way in the past, I actually was on a roll on a run where I dug up quite a few of those. So that's cool. Some of them were probably brought over as souvenirs from World War II, I'm thinking, because I think some of the ones I found were like from the 30s, so they would have definitely been circulating. Another Canadian cent, 1964. Let's get to some of this other stuff here. If anybody wants to try to look this up, you can. I think this is just a very generic token, like a modern token, because like I said, there was a couple modern things in here because of that Chuck E. Cheese one, but it just says 25 on it. And the other side, it's a crown with a dollar sign. I don't know if this is just like a generic arcade or car wash token or something like that, but it's not old, and it's very generic, so it's nothing special. Couple more Canadian cents. 1947, a 1964, and now I believe, what do we have here now? I can't remember. Well, somebody in the chat will probably know. I don't remember if this was more of a Swiss coin. The ones that say Helvetia, or I'm not sure how to pronounce that on it. I believe it's 1 franc, or half of a franc. So I'll show it here. Really nice condition. 1971. I can't remember actually where these are from. I could look it up, but I'm not going to bother right now because it's not super old. I know it's not really worth anything, that one. They're common. Let's see. Okay, we'll go to this next after. One more got some gunk on it. Yeah, Sebastian said Swiss. That's what I thought. I thought those were Swiss because the Swiss coins have that wreath design on it. I know it from the older ones, a lot of the older ones. 1962 Canadian penny. Now this is interesting. This is another non-coin item here. I'll read it real quick, and it doesn't have a specific date on it, so I'm not sure when this is from. There's a lot of typical commemoratives like this, but it's a Grover Cleveland token. It says 1885 to 1889, 22nd and 24th President of the United States, and then it says 1893 to 1897. So it has the two different split 4-year office terms. And then it says Grover Cleveland, born March 18th, 1837, nicknamed Grover the Good, first president to be married in White House, only president to succeed his successor, died June 24th, 1908. So this one needs a little bit more of a research to get the exact age on this. It is in really nice condition. Still has a little bit of the original luster on it. Kind of see it there pretty good. That's a very interesting find there. And yeah, none of the, yeah, I know it's not silver. Actually, I don't think there's any, I didn't see any silver in here, and I knew that one wasn't. Yeah, it's too new. Also, let's just grab, there's more Canadian pennies in here, so let's look at a couple more dates on those. Get them out of the way here. We have a 1959, a 1956, a 1964. Here's a nice older Canadian one. We got a 1939 nickel. Decent. I'm not sure if it's an SO token or not. I know it's not the shell ones because the shell ones were aluminum. I found tons of the shell ones metal detecting, but there were so many types of presidential commemoratives from so many different companies. It's hard to keep track of if it doesn't say on it. Like I just don't know exactly which company made that one. All right, so let's grab, we got another Canadian penny, 1953. We got another one of the ship half pennies in pretty good shape, 1947. Nice and clean, but yeah, it is a little worn. That's King George VI on there. Let's go to something different here. There was a, almost dropped it. One of the older Euro coins a few years after they started making euros. So you can actually still spend these. This is actually worth basically like 10 cents. 10 euro cents. This is a little bit earlier one, a 2002. I think the euro started in 1998, if I remember correctly. Somebody in the chat can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I thought it was around 98. I think that's the oldest euros I've ever found. And then, oh yeah, this is one of the things that I saw on here that was like telling me it was a dead giveaway that, yeah, you want to buy this chest of coins for $5 because I know that these are still spendable in Australia. And man, it'd be nice to metal detect in Australia where people dropped these all the time. But they make $1 and $2 coins, and the $2 coins are very small and people lose them easily, but they're incredibly thick. But this is a $2 Australian coin, which a lot of Australians, if I remember correctly, call these goldies. Just a fun term for them. And it has like an Aboriginal on there. $2. Like I said, this I'll check out what the conversion is, but I believe these are still spendable. Here we go. 1995, Elizabeth II. You can see how thick these are. So I'll check the conversion here real quick. $2 AUD to USD. $1.31 in US. So this is worth about $1.31 today. So this is something that if you're selling coins in bulk lots, you always want to pull these out because they are actually quite valuable in the modern sense because they have a high purchasing power. So you wouldn't want to throw those into random coin bins if you were trying to sell bulk coinage. I would pull these out. Definitely, if I was selling coin lots, I would pull those out. Let's see what else we got here. Now, I don't know if this might be silver. I didn't see this in there before. Like I said, I didn't go through most of this. Now, I can't quite tell. This might be a part silver one. I'm going to look it up here. 1964 10 ore, however you say that. I think it's ore. And this would be Norwegian, I believe. Yeah. Real small little coin. This might be part silver. I have to look. Not actually familiar with that coin. Sebastian said not silver. Yeah, that's not surprising. I'm not sure when they stopped the silver there. But yeah, I guess not. Looks cool though. Oh yeah, when I drop it, it doesn't have the right sound. It doesn't have the silver ting. Yeah. Unfortunately. Hey largemouth bass, how's it going? As always, thank you for being a member. I appreciate it. Speaking of which, if anybody would like to become a member, you can do so for as little as 99 cents a month. Oh, is that one Swedish? Okay. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, that's Swedish. Yep. Sverige. Yep. Swedish. Okay. Let's grab a couple more of these big pennies out of the way. Here's one that's a little bit newer, but in really good shape. Another one, the giant British pennies. This is obviously in the best condition because it's newer also. But 1967, the detail on this one is crazy good. And Queen Elizabeth II, that's a good example of what these look like. I'm doing good, largemouth bass. Just having fun going through some of this, some of these flea market finds. And then here's another giant penny, British one, 1945. So it is good that a lot of these coins are older ones. And like I said, I mean, even though I didn't even give him the full $5, because he basically didn't even want me to pay. I mean, like I said, this kind of semi-rare token alone is really worth the $5. So that was kind of cool. Let's grab a couple more. There's some more Canadian pennies in here. Like I said, you can see, guys. Like I said, there was a lot of coins in this little chest. It holds more than it looks like it would. 1962 Canadian cent. 1945 was the end of silver circulation coins. Most European countries, except for Swiss and some larger denominations in France and Germany. Yeah, that rings a bell. That sounds about right. Because I know a lot of metal detectorists in those regions too. They find a lot more copper and bronze and stuff like that than they do silver. Actually, I know you, Sebastian. You have one of the best regions in the world for finding silver, just because they produced it much later than a lot of areas in the world. So I know you find a lot of silver in the quantity. Not that it's all rare, but you know a lot of the low value silver. I know Canadians can dig up a lot of it because they made them part silver up until '68, and that's pretty late to be able to find silver. And oh yeah, I saw this in there. There's a crusty zinc penny in there. Maybe it looked older, so that was funny. I did see that in there earlier when I browsed through this. Oh, here's a good example. I showed that centavos coin earlier that somebody had like silver plated and put a hole through to use as a jewelry piece. And here's what they look like um, without the plating, without somebody plating them. This is a little bit more of the natural tone of them. There's a 1971. And I won't bother showing the back. I showed the back of the other one before, but that's what they look like without being silver plated. Getting closer to the bottom here, let's get some more of these big pennies out of the way. What was the last oldest one we found? The one King Edward was 1905. So here's the oldest one so far. King Edward the 7th, I believe this is still going to be. I don't know when the Widowhead Victoria stopped. We'll see when we flip this over. This might be a Widowhead Vicky. But in 1902, no, that's still Edward the 7th. I know the Widowhead Victorias go to like at least 1898, 99, or something like that. So this must be one of the first years of the Edward the 7th. I can't remember the exact transition year from Victoria to Edward. 1901, says Sebastian. Good. Okay, so it's a first year. I knew it was close. So it's a first year Edward the 7th. And then we got a 1914 here too. So there's a lot of different early 1900s dates in here, which was pretty cool. Sebastian might know the rough value of these. I mean, I know most of these are going to be pretty common and not have a lot of value, but I don't really know if these bigger ones from that period, if they're worth like what, 50 cents a piece or give or take. I don't really know. I haven't really looked them up. And I haven't gone through any of these other than just window shopping. And actually, wow, here we go. 1 year back, I just found now, perfect to go with that. I actually have the first year Victoria, Queen Victoria. There you go. 1901. And the reverse looks a lot better than the obverse. There you go, Queen Victoria. These are pretty cool. So 1901, that may be the oldest coin in here because there's not much stuff left in here. So cool. Got the two transition years there. Probably 10 to 25 cents each. Okay, that sounds about right because I knew they were. I knew they weren't too pricey. Okay, more Canadian cents. 1964. 1968. So that, like I said, there's no silver in here, it looks like. So maybe the person knew how to take out the silver. Hard to say because having a lot of World War II, 1950s, 60s era Canadian cents, a couple nickels. It seems like maybe somebody at least knew how to pick the silver out. 1949 Canadian cent, 1942 Canadian cent, 1964 Canadian cent. But even at $5, this would have been a good buy. I mean, this little treasure box alone, because this isn't one of those super cheap wood ones that's not even stained. So this box alone is probably worth like $3. So that was just really nice of him to give this to me cheap. Okay, next coin here, we got something a little bit different. We have a coin, it's 50, what is this, 50 what? I don't remember on these. I don't remember, it was 50 something from 1983, but this is from Yugoslavia. Oh, 1953. Did I say 83? It's 1953. And this is not silver. This is aluminum. Pretty interesting coin, though. Very interesting. Then we do have another more modern euro coin, a 5 euro cent from 2015. So, like I said, there's some pretty new stuff mixed in here as well. There's a 2015 5 euro cent. Actually, let me look up I have a 10 euro cent too. Let me look up. Let me look up 1 euro to USD. $1.08. So it's almost pretty much pegged, almost like even with the US dollar right now. So yeah, so a 10-cent euro would be worth about 11 cents USD. And then so the camera focuses again. The penny I just pulled out, 1964 Canadian there. Yes, Dinara or something like that. I think you're right. Yep, that rings a bell. That sounds about right. I think that's what they're called. Okay, let's get the last one of these out of the way, and then we'll end with the interesting stuff. Man, there's a lot of crumbs in the bottom of this chest. Don't getting it all over my keyboard. Yeah, save them for a trip to Europe, right? Exactly. Canadian penny, 1947. Now we're going to get into the... Oh, wait, let me get the last Canadian out of here. 1964 Canadian. And then to the interesting stuff. Hey, Henry, how's it going? That's a cool story, Henry. Now I have a common older world coin. I've seen these a lot. A 10 Groschen from 1957, which German, I believe, yeah, German. 10 Groschen, 1957, also an aluminum coin. So most of the coins in this collection seem to be split years. They're either like right around World War II and then 1950s, like 1940s, 1950s, a couple really modern ones, and then like early 1900s. It's kind of weird. There's like kind of like 3 date ranges, and most of this stuff is kind of like 1940s and 50s. That's the general gist of this, but there is a little handful of those early 1900s British pennies as well. Oh, you know what? Linda, you're right. You're right. This one is Austrian. You are correct. Not German. This is Austrian. Thank you for saying that. You reminded me. I think you are absolutely correct on that. And then let's see. We got an Indian coin, a small one. See if this will focus. There we go. It's a small one, a little harder to focus on. 1957. India. Once again, another one of those coins from the 50s. There you go. There's a good shot of it there. All right. And then I'll show this one while it's focused out on me. There we go. What do we have here? This one's from 1994, so it's not that old. I guess this is Dutch. It's a Reichspfennig from 1994. This is a cool one. Not very old, though. Cool coin there. And the last coin, which is one we're going to have to look up together. I have seen these before in the past. And this is this is in very, very nice condition. It says Island 5 Arar, 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. 1946. This is in really nice shape too. I like this side a lot. But I'm not too familiar with that coin. Come on, focus on me here. Come on. Let's do this. Focus out. Come on, there you go. Let's see. Oh, this is from Iceland. Oh, I see. Yeah, got it. Okay, cool. So this is Icelandic, an old Icelandic coin. That's cool. Yeah, that's neat. Yeah, it's 5 Arar, or however you say that. That was a loud noise. It sounded like a gunshot, but it wasn't. It was something backfiring. That's a neat one. All right. Let me get a drink here real quick. So I'll do a recap for anybody coming in. I need to stretch for a minute. I'm going to do a slam dunk to take a break here. And of course, any super chats will do more slam dunks. Gotta get the ball here. Just to be an easy warm-up dunk. I knocked a stink bug off the rim. Get out of here. All right. Let's put this down here for a minute. So, a recap of the box full of coins for anybody who came in late. We'll just do a giant recap. There were a pretty decent sized stack of large British pennies. A lot of them early 1900s, with the oldest being a Queen Victoria last year, 1901. So that ended up being the oldest coin. So pretty nice stack of the older British pennies. I think the newest one was 1967 or something, or 61. It's mostly older ones. Then we got the coin bracelet, Australian 1943 Roo penny. There is a pretty significant pile of like 20 Canadian cents. I don't think there were any pre-1940s in the cents, actually. But they ran from the 1940s through the 1960s. There was a pretty significant pile of those. We got a couple generic tokens. One of them's a newer Chuck E. Cheese token. Also a Grover Cleveland like commemorative medal, a junk earring, 2 Mexican coins. One's pretty cool because it's like silver plated with a hole in it, probably worn on either a coin bracelet or a necklace. 1953 Canadian nickel and 1939 Canadian nickel. Another big Mexican coin from the 70s. There were 3 of the British, 2 of the British ship half pennies, and 1 of the George V half pennies, 1917, but in pretty poor condition. Then there was a bunch of other random miscellaneous foreign coinage going back from roughly the 1950s up until, kind of like most of it's 1950s and 60s. And then there's a couple modern euros. One nice find was the $2 Australian coin from the 90s. That's like worth $1.31 US. And then the best find. Hey, Plugs. Yeah, you missed it. This chest was really heavy. This was definitely a beefy treasure chest full of coins. And you missed the beefy light up vintage vanity mirror. That's really beefy. And here was probably the best find in the chest. This is actually a fairly historic, good for 5 cents in trade token from the Keesler Air Force Base in Mississippi that opened in 1941. This is one of the original tokens, and they are quite rare. There's only like three. Well, some of them are modern. The older ones, there's only like 2 of these on all of eBay, I think. But of course, tokens aren't as valuable as rare coins. But I still think this is worth like $7, something around in there. So that was probably the best find value-wise, but it's also just a really cool find. I'm just giving the value as a reference. So yeah, that was a really cool pickup today. That was really fun to go through for sure. Let me grab another drink here real quick. And then I got a couple other things to show here. Actually, I don't think there's... Oh, yeah, I got a couple cool things to show yet I still have here. One thing's very interesting here. I'll show it in a second. It's kind of funny. I've never seen one before. Okay, let's get rid of this box. Okay, let me set some of this aside. We'll build up the story for the next little part here. Get these out of the way. Sherilyn, how's it going? All right, let's see. Oh, speaking of which, I'll show this really quick. This was a find I got a little while back, like five days ago or so. A thrift store pickup. I'll show this real quick because I have them here because I just finished cleaning them. That was a little bit tedious, but in the 19 cents a piece silverware bin, I cleared out an entire collection of prestige silver-plated silverware with kind of like the punch-through design. This, if I remember correctly, these are from 1951, and they cleaned up really nice. So I only paid 19 cents a piece for these. They are in incredible condition after getting the tarnish off, and I'm assuming I got 31 pieces. I'm assuming at worst case scenario, they'll sell for $1 a piece in a set, but I will show, just a couple of them here so you can see. This was actually a pretty good pickup just because they were super cheap. You grab one of the giant forks here, one of the bigger forks there. Really nice design on them. There you go. Very ornate. These are from this set's from 1951, and they are in great condition. Like I said, I had to really clean the tarnish off, though. I used a silver polish. And so I got the entire bag, 31 pieces, with forks, spoons, butter knives, a couple big serving spoons. And, yeah, paid like $5.89 or something. So that was pretty cool. That was something random. Let me get some more of this stuff out here. Oh yeah, this was another good find. I'll show that in a minute. I don't know what it's worth, but we'll figure it out together. It was actually a decent find. It's something I'm going to have to look for more of in my area because of my location. So we'll get to this story, this other stuff here now. Okay, I showed that. Then we got this. Let's see. Okay, so we'll show a couple other random things here really quickly. So for $2, this was like a deal within a deal. I kept buying a bunch of stuff. I got this giant like tinted pitcher / vase, which is really cool. The color is not my style. I'm not huge on like glass like this for the decorative stuff. I like more solid pieces. But somebody will really like this. I'll be able to sell it. It's a very large and narrow design, which people really like. So I picked that up for $2. That's an easy sale. It probably, easy at 10, but that could probably go for 15 just because it's a really nice shape. And I don't know if this is sterling. The person had a lot of cheap rings that I got some thrown in with what I bought from them. Sebastian said 25. It could be, Now, glassware usually doesn't go quite as high as some of the other vases, but I mean, I could see that. Um, but I also got this from them, a little vintage bear ring, and it has the right color. It doesn't have any markings. Now, this may not be sterling, but it kind of had a good color to it where I thought maybe it's kind of tarnished too. I can't find any lettering on it or anything, but there's no plating wearing off. Like I said, I'm not sure if this is silver. I'm going to have to look it up more and test it. Well, if I can find any other ones online, then I would know. But very interesting vintage bear ring there. Let's see. Oh, that's something else. Let me grab this. Oh no, that's something else. Okay, let me grab this now. So first of all, I bought this main item here for $5. I'm going to show it in a second. We'll get to that one last here. Actually, Sebastian, I don't have an acid test kit right now. The older one I had, it got old. I had it for so many years. I don't think I have it anymore. Some of them leaked, and I ended up getting rest of the last I had left. I need to get another test kit. I haven't done it in a while. So anyway, I bought this for $5. You'll see what it is in a second. It's very unique, and they threw all this other stuff in. So I'll just briefly show it because there's nothing. Well, there's one thing that's interesting here, but so I got just this little porcelain plate with this cup, but it's chipped on the bottom. This was like an item they had priced at $0.25, so this is just kind of almost like giveaway stuff. But that was kind of interesting because it's actually milk glass, painted milk glass. So that's kind of interesting. This I can't really find anything about because it's unmarked. And the other ones I found online are also unmarked. Somebody else was trying to figure out what it is. There is one on eBay that's a different reddish color for like $8, but it's pretty vintage, like cat themed vase. Very interesting design. I thought that was interesting enough to pick up because people like a lot of the cat themed stuff as well. Always stay away from the angel themed stuff. People have tons of that stuff. Nobody buys it. And then, okay, so this is actually kind of interesting. And I live very close to where these were produced. So I'm in an area where this stuff is much more prevalent. So I need to keep an eye out for this more because I don't know a lot about it. But as long as you know what markings to look for. So I'm not too incredibly far away from Irwin, Tennessee, where what I want to say, where Blue Ridge Pottery was located. So this on the bottom of it says Blue Ridge Pottery, made by the Cash family, hand painted, Irwin, Tennessee. And it still has the original mark stamp on the bottom. It's a little bit faded, but you can see it there. So this is a genuine Blue Ridge Pottery, which, if I remember correctly, closed down in 1957. So this piece is older than that, and it's in great shape too. There is no chips on it. There's a few like stress marks, but that's common for something this age. But it's actually pretty nice. It's a very small piece. And like I said, I haven't really looked into depth to what the smaller pieces like this sell for, but a lot of people specifically look for Blue Ridge Pottery. It's very well known. And that is a vintage one right there. So that is actually a really cool find. And that was pretty much a giveaway thing, like a quarter item and just, somebody's knickknacks. So if you know what you're looking for, that's actually a pretty decent find. Now, I kind of got all that for free because I bought this for $5. Oh, yeah, one more thing before I get to that. This was just cool. This is like pewter. It's vintage. We'll have to put it in my owl collection that I kind of started because this is hilarious. It's a little owl pendant. And it's got the eyes. The eyes move. It's kind of hilarious. Anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. 710, what's going on? Detect, dig, smile. How's it going? All right. So here's the unique item right here. A Timex collectible mini clock. And you're thinking, why is it in a grill? I know, it's hilarious, right? It's in the original box, which is heavy, spring-loaded box. It's hilarious. This is a very heavy metal. It's a Timex in a grill. It's got the little tray, like the little towel rack going on there. It's crazy. And this is not cheap. This is a very solid metal. High craftsmanship here. And it folds in, and you can put a little cardboard insert over there so it holds it out if you want it to show. This is new in the box. And the original instructions are still tucked away in the corner down there. With the warranty information, it says like it is a 5-year warranty. If something goes wrong with it, you can send a check for like $6 or something to cover to and from postage, something like that. I don't know what it is, but you send like a check for $6 in with it, and they'll fix it and send it back to you. The instructions are in there too, so it's complete. I think the cheapest one I saw on eBay, if I remember, without the box in the instructions, was I think 16 plus shipping. I think the cheapest one I found with the box was like $25. But I picked it up for $5, and then they threw in some other stuff too. I got the vase and some other stuff from the same people as well. I bought most of the stuff today from like pretty much the same 3 vendors and stuff. But yeah, just a wild pickup there. So I think that was most of the stuff I got today. I'm just gonna hang out in the chat here for a couple minutes. I'm not sure how much longer I'll stay on. But I hope you all enjoyed going through the coins and other stuff that I picked up today. So what has everybody else been finding lately? And I'll grab one more thing to show because it's right behind me. I'm working on a little bit. This was an interesting thing. So this was a Goodwill pickup. It's actually a really nice display case. And if you're wondering what the white is in there, I have baking soda in there because unfortunately it smells like cigarette smoke real bad in the fabric. I'm going to see if I can get that out first because it's glued in so heavily. I don't want to try to pull that out and redo it. I'm not interested in it. But it's a really nice frame. Now, it's actually from Hobby Lobby. It has a $69.99 sticker on it, but Hobby Lobby usually overprices stuff and does 50% off. So it's probably a $35 case. It's medium build. Hobby Lobby stuff, some of it's cheap, some of it's okay. But this is kind of in between. But I got that for $6.99. This is going to be a great display for like metal detecting finds. So yeah, I'm going to try to get the smell out of this. That was a really good buy. Even if I decided not to keep this, that's an easy sale at $20. I mean, probably could get 25. But that's actually a really good pickup for $6.99 at a Goodwill. I grabbed that right away as soon as I saw it, made sure it wasn't broken. I picked it up right away. So I do think I'm going to use that as a detecting display, but not 100% certain yet. Hey, Chris, how's it going? Let's see here. What was that one thing? Let me look up the Blue Ridge pottery a little bit more. Chris, I haven't been playing basketball recently. I've kind of taken a big break from it. But now that it's getting summer here, I'll be shooting hoops in my driveway. But I haven't been playing any basketball at the gym. If silver ever goes high enough, do you think silver plate items will be melted down for silver content? Probably not, because separating the silver plating from the junk metals would be a lot of effort. I think silver would have to, in my estimation, I think silver would have to go insanely high for people trying to get the plating, unless there's easier ways to do it that I'm not aware of. I think it'd have to be very high for people to do that. Let's see. Yeah, the Blue Ridge pottery definitely isn't cheap. Even the smaller pieces like the china, it looks like even the smaller pieces people are asking like $10 for. So a little vase like this with a floral design, it could be worth around 10. I don't think it's going to be anything really rare. Sheila, thank you very much for the $23 super chat. I really appreciate that. That was very kind of you. Let me give you a dunk. And Sheila, if you would like, if you want one, send me your address and send me an email at jdsvarietychannel@gmail.com. I'd love to send you I'll send you one of the older British giant big pennies that I found tonight. One of the really old ones that's over 100 years old. If you would like one from the collection tonight that I went through, I'd love to send you one of these. I really appreciate that. Just send me an email and I'll send one off to you if you'd like. Let me go ahead and give you a dunk. Except I'm going to move the vase out of the way first because I do not want to break this. I'm going to move this out of the way. All right. As I fall into the boxes. All right. Yeah, Chris, that was very generous of Sheila. That was pretty close. I didn't really, well, actually, I did spend quite a bit today, but not a lot. Not by flea market standards. You could spend a lot. I spent I didn't even spend 50, honestly. I just got some really good deals today. I got a lot of good stuff, but I didn't spend much. And that's the whole point, I guess, is you're trying to get a lot of good stuff, but not spend a lot. Colleen, I don't know. That commercial might have been, I think that commercial must have been before my time. Takes a licking, but keeps on ticking. I don't know if I remember that slogan. I've probably heard it before. Trying to think. I don't know. Let me look back into this. Hey, Paula, good to see you. RB Alexander, how's it going? Michael, how's it going? Let's see. Blue Ridge. Let me look up Blue Ridge pottery. I want to look at the Wikipedia. I've heard of people around here looking for Blue Ridge stuff at the estate sales, which makes sense because I live so close to where it was produced historically. So yeah, when you're getting like a $10 vase for a quarter, that's a pretty good margin. And I just got it because I liked the design. I didn't even know at the time. The stuff was just, it was just the cheaper items. I was just, picking up. I didn't even check the bottom of that one, so I didn't even know at the time. So let's see. Blue Ridge is a brand and range of American tableware, dishware manufactured by Southern Potteries Incorporated from the 1930s until 1957. Well known in their day for their underglazed decoration and colorful patterns, Blue Ridge pieces are now popular items with collectors of antique dishware. Oh, this is Blue Ridge dishware specifically. Is there I'm thinking of Blue Ridge. Or am I thinking of Blue Mount? Hold on a second. Yeah, Blue Ridge Pottery, right? Yeah, this must be the same thing. Let me see here. Let me browse through this. It's not the page I was looking at earlier. Look at this one more time. Let me look at this. There's Irwin National Blue Ridge Pottery Club. They actually have a historical marker. And let's see. Yeah, they have a historical marker in Irwin, Tennessee. And man, that's really big. I'm going to back out of this. And it reads, beginning operations in 1970, Southern Potteries Incorporated was fostered by the Carolina, Clinchfield, and Ohio Railroad. For many years, it was one of the nation's largest producers of hand-painted under-the-glaze pottery. Right here. Sold under the name Blue Ridge, located on Watauga Avenue. The factory hired hundreds of local artists to paint. Sorry, this is small. I'm trying to read it. To paint the pottery. We're not planting the pottery. Department stores had their own designs, and breakfast cereals offered starter sets. In January of 1957, the board of directors voted to close the pottery. Collectors will still seek out examples of this pottery from Irwin's past. And here you go. This is a historic piece that I picked up today. Really cool. It's my first piece. Got the original authentication on the bottom. Very neat. So that was cool. All right. For anybody just coming in, I got this really crazy vintage light up vanity touch lamp too. It's quite old. Very interesting. So if you see that out of the corner of your eye, that's exactly what that is. Might be my new YouTube ring light. Are you saying you sent me an email, Paula? If that's the case, I'll check it later. Thank you. Hey, Papu, how's it going? Yeah, plant the pot in Blue Ridge Pottery. I can plant it in my backyard, and hopefully I'll have 5 of them in a couple of years. That's what I need to do. Let me see. What else did I want to look up here? Let me grab. I couldn't find that one. I looked for that before. I really like using the Google Lens app. It's really, really, really good for taking some of the effort out of the research. If anybody else online has the same item you do and took a decent photograph of it, the AI has gotten so good. I usually don't like using apps like that, but it's so useful. I like using that Google Lens app. So let's see, how much did I spend today? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 20, 23. Did I literally spend $23? Did you keep track, Sheila? Did you literally send exactly what I spent today? Because I think I literally spent $23. You had to have been keeping track. Because I literally think I spent exactly $23. That's hilarious if that's the case. And if that was random, that's incredible. And let me grab something else here really quick. Because I don't have any. I was trying to remember to keep some coins on hand to go through during the streams too, but I just didn't get them. My bank's closed on Sunday, and I think they're open just a few hours. The one branch on Saturday, so I didn't get any coins to go through. But the next stream, I hope to have some coins to go through as well. Hey Dennis, how's it going? What's that? Oh yeah. So this was something cool that I picked up from an estate sale the other day. A really old box for $5, and it's just a super cool, like, antique box. And the boards that were used for this are massive. So this would have had to have been really thick cut lumber, because this is just a knot here, and that's why this is cracked. That's not like a new board. This board literally runs from here to here, which is like, I don't know, almost 14 inches. It's very solid, and it's really beat up. Somebody used it is for like tools or something for a long time. You can see, but even beat up, it's still solid because it's so high quality. Somebody used it for a long time though, and it was obviously painted at some point, but it had to have been painted a long time ago because, you know, see, it's really worn and nicked over the paint. Very, very kind of like rustic. I don't know what something like that would be worth, but I picked it up for $5. I'm thinking if I sold it at at my antique booth, I don't know, $35. I know sometimes I undercut myself. It could be more, but I don't know. Maybe $35. Is that too high, too low? I don't know. Bird Dog, how's it going? I'm not sure if you just popped in. I got to show you some stuff that you need to keep an eye out for too. Blue Ridge Pottery from Irwin, Tennessee. I just went over some of it. I got one of the historic pieces from Blue Ridge Pottery that's from pre-1957 before they closed down. I got this for $0.25, and it's probably worth like $10. You got to keep an eye out for that. It's got the original Cash family hand-painted stamp on it, Irwin, Tennessee. So this is a cool local piece of history right here. All right. Let me see something else here. Let me move. Hold on. Let me see. Let me test this light again. Wow, cool. Actually does. This is like what a YouTube ring light would be like if YouTube existed in the 1970s. People would have been carrying these around. I think it's just hilarious. Like, I'm so glad I picked that up. Oh yeah, I don't think I add that into my total. I think I spent $28 today, not 23. I think I forgot to add that in. I think I spent 28 today, but for spending $28. Amy, thank you very much for becoming a member. Welcome to the Zinc Club. And let me give you a slam dunk. Because got to give a slam dunk to new members. I really appreciate that. Let me move this. Gotta think of what kind of dunk I can do here. Oh, I gotta put this up a little bit. That was a self pass. I'll do one more anyway. I'll do a self pass left-handed dunk. This will be interesting. Oh, try that again. Hold on. All right. Let's see. So it is good, though, that I'm not trying to make a living with my vendor booth, because I think, where are we at here? Let me check this out. Because so far this month, I did really good in the beginning of the month, and then it got really slow for me. So we're at the end of the month, close to the end of the month here. And I think I've done a little over, I think I made a little over $400. Hold on, let me see what I did here. I did $447, and I have to pay 10% commission on that and like $175 rent. And of course, not everything. And after you deduct that, everything then still isn't profit, because I still have to buy or find the stuff. So, yeah. It looks like I'm maybe going to make, like, probably at the end of the month, maybe like $200. I'm having fun, though. It's at least something different. Make another dunk and I will up my membership. Well, that's a generous offer. I will definitely take you up on that one. But even if you don't, I won't hold it against you. I just really appreciate anyone who supports the channel, and everyone who doesn't support the channel monetarily. I appreciate you all just as much. Anyway, let's do a dunk. I'll have to do a really special dunk. Let's see, what can I figure out here? I'm going to come up with something unique. I think I'm going to bounce it off the ground and do like an over the back. I'm going to try that. That'll be interesting. I don't know if I probably won't get it on the first attempt. Oh, this says about the right amount of air in it. Not too much, not too little. Let's give this a try. Clear the runway. Kick all my bags out of the way. Let's try this. First try. Ooh, that made me really stretch out. Welcome to Copper, Amy. Welcome to Copper. That's very kind of you. And actually, I can give everybody updates too, because while we're on the stream here, I'm going to go over some channel stuff here, because I think I need to do that as well. Yeah, I think I need to do that as well. So First of all, I do have some metal detecting videos that I need to release. I've just kind of gotten away from the editing again. But I will plan on getting those videos out eventually. So like I said, I do have a lot of videos that need edited. I have been detecting a little bit here and there. The detecting for me is going to slow down for a bit, so I do think that. So that's good that I actually have a backlog of videos that I need to get out. Some from this year, some from last year, and then some from actually even further back than that. But I have some decent ones too. But as for like some future ones, I will have to slow down a little bit. I've been having some pretty significant problems with my right wrist. And I don't want to risk re-aggravating it for quite a while. Let me turn this off now. So I guess I'll give a little bit of the story. I had a bad wrist injury when I was like 23. It's actually a bowling injury. I was actually trying to torque the ball. I was trying to spin the ball, the 2-finger spin but I put an incredible amount of torque on it, and I massively hyperextended one of the tendons in my wrist. And actually, in my early days of metal detecting, that was like the year before I started the channel. And for like the first almost 2 years of my channel, I was okay, but I just had a lot of wrist pain after I did like a lot of digging. But eventually it kind of went away. But over the last year or so, it's been kind of coming back up again. I've noticed over the years, like if I do a lot of underhand lifting, that muscle, the muscles, tendons get like, you can just tell they get weaker. I have to be careful when I do a lot of heavy lifting, like underhand, because it's specifically right in here, and it only really affects like underhand lifting. And of course, metal detecting, because there's a lot of back and forth and twisting, can bother it sometimes. And for some reason, it's been really bad recently. And I haven't done anything to like really aggravate it. Like there's nothing that I did that would have like tweaked it. There's nothing that I noticed, but I did do a long metal detecting hunt, like maybe a week before it started being aggravated. So I think it's just, I don't know if I'm eventually going to need surgery on it or something. I don't know what the deal is, but it's been, how do I want to say? It hasn't been affecting my life too much at all. So I'd never had a reason to address it, because back in the day, after I got some physical therapy on it, it did improve to the point where it really wasn't an issue. Unless, like I said, unless I did a lot of heavy lifting underhand. Yeah, Linda, a brace would help help me not twist it, and help with if I do have to lift stuff. So I actually do have wrist brace from sports injuries and different stuff. I do actually have a wrist brace. I will have to, that's a good reminder to put that on when I am doing something that could aggravate it. So I am going to have to slow down on the metal detecting stuff for a little while I see what's going on with this. But like I said, I have a big backlog of videos anyway, so it shouldn't really matter. I'll just keep everybody up to date with what happens in the future with that. But yeah, this past week, it's been pretty bad. One day randomly, without even doing anything, it just hurt like a lot of the day, and I wasn't even doing anything. It just was randomly hurting. Yeah, plugs. I gotta hire somebody to dig for me. Or better yet, who wants to volunteer? Hey, I actually did that for one of my detecting buddies before. I mean, that's cool if somebody's willing to do that. I did that for a detecting buddy after he had back surgery. Those of you who know Jerry, who's been on the channel quite a few times over the years, he had back surgery years ago, and I did a detecting hunt or two with him where he flagged his holes and I dug them for him. Edward, I am in Bristol, Tennessee. And thank you for stopping by. And I completely lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I was talking about my wrist. So, yeah, I have some detecting videos to come out, but I am going to slow down for a while because especially getting into the time of year where I need to do like landscaping and some yard work and some other stuff, I got to really be careful with my wrist. And the long metal detecting hunts seem to be really, really aggravating it badly. So I just don't know any way around that right now until I give it some rest. Oh, Edward, anyway, I'm not sure where you live, but basically I have a booth at the Village Antiques in Bristol, Tennessee. You can look it up. Um, yeah, so it's if you're ever up this way, if you ever pop in, I have a variety of stuff. It's anywhere from modern vintage to antique. It's kind of just a mishmash of stuff. I go all over the place: flea markets, estate sales, thrift stores, trash picking. I just have fun doing it. So you never know what I'm going to have in my booth. But my vendor code is JDVC. I'm in the left side of the store in the far left aisle. For anybody that's stopping through, wants to pop in, take a look at my booth. And in the future, I'm actually planning on expanding. I want to do a double booth or multiple, like 2 booths. That's what I'm hoping to in the future, but I just have one small one for now. So I just have a single booth, but I am enjoying it. So also too, I've been thinking about doing this. What's going on, Pork? Wes said, use your other arm swinging. That's what I do. That's actually a good idea. So what I did on my last detecting hunt is, since I was doing actually a lot of pasture detecting, it was in a wide open area, I did use my left arm most of the time. And I was using a foot shovel. So that took a lot of the strain off of my wrist. I only use my right hand when I have to pinpoint a target because I'm not coordinated enough with my left arm to do the pinpoint. I have it down to a science with my right hand. The problem with that is I actually need, it doesn't affect my quality of life enough to have ever done it, but I actually need surgery on my left shoulder. I have a bicep, what do you want to call it? Bicep groove issue where my bicep tendon doesn't stay in the groove. I went over that on the channel before. I have so many random little things, but that's my left shoulder. This has a really bad pop and click, which I don't know if you can do it on camera, but I can actually do it on command. It's pretty bad. So if I use my left arm a lot, I get really sore in this region here. So it's kind of right now, it's like, pick what you want to be sore. Do I want to throw my wrist out, or do I want to aggravate this? But yeah, I'm still getting detecting hunts in. I'm just slowing down on them, which is why I'm doing a lot of thrifting too. It's not as strenuous on the body. No sugar-free gummies right now, plugs. Hey, Pirate, what's going on? Hope you're having a good one. So anyway, this was just a thought. I probably just need to start posting videos and not overthink them, and just I was thinking of getting back into some vlog style videos of just taking people around with me when I go exploring. And if I do that, I'll be able to put out videos without worrying about any editing. I'm thinking about maybe filming when I go around to some thrift stores or yard sales and flea markets, all the stuff, and then maybe do more of the tour type videos I want to do too. Maybe pop in some cemeteries and different stuff and just talk. And I know a lot of people wouldn't want to hear it, but I think long term for me, especially the way my life's going, I want to, when I say phase out, I don't mean quit, but I want to slowly phase away from making the metal detecting videos the primary theme. But I can't foresee that I'll ever quit metal detecting. But if I only put out one video a month, I just, for me, that's not ideal. So I'm thinking of maybe just doing some vlog style videos that I enjoy, that are more low key, not as labor intensive, and something that I enjoy, because I've honestly been really enjoying this treasure hunting that I'm doing for my booth, because I've been uncovering some really super cool stuff. And I actually live in a great part of the country for finding stuff, because I'm in a really unique location. It's hard to explain, but actually I live in an area where I can get to a lot of different places that are quite convenient to me, and I can go very frequently. So I actually live in a very strategic location to be able to go to a lot of these different places. Especially if I go to really rural estate sales that are up in the mountains that a lot of people don't go to, I can get to some places where you can find some pretty cool things. So I don't know, maybe I'll start taking everyone around on the adventures. I think I'm ready to start just I don't know. I guess I'll explain it this way. I've kind of enjoyed the quiet time of just me and myself that I missed a lot before I started doing stuff on YouTube. But I think I kind of got it out of my system, and I think I'm ready to start shooting some videos again, like vlog style. So I don't know. Maybe I needed to just get it off my chest and just say that I'm thinking about doing that. So that's I think what I need to do is just start posting some random videos and not overthink them. Amy, yeah, I've spent a lot of time in Rogersville. Really cool place. It's actually a tip. I haven't. There's a mature pecan tree over by the library, and you can get some pecans over there. Yeah, I'm very familiar with a lot of the Rogersville area. I've done some metal detecting over there too. It's a very cool area. I appreciate the support, everyone. But yeah, I think because, like I said, my channel. I mean, I've been so inconsistent with the uploads and the theme of the channel over the last few years that, I mean, it's not really going to change much anyway. So who cares? You know, a few hundred people decide they don't want to follow along. I mean, that's the least of my concerns right now. So I think I just, for my long-term viewers that are really like just watching, you know, for the, you know, for basically for me as a person, I like watching the videos for me as a person. I need to just start posting video for the people who actually post some videos for the people who actually care and just not think about it too much. I actually do have a couple filmed. I just didn't edit a couple of them. I did a cool little thrift store video. I think I honestly just forgot to post it. I just have to finish the edit. I have a couple small videos that are really unique though, that are like little treasure hunts that like going through this treasure chest like I did today, this coin collection I picked up. I've got a video like that, except it's like old like buttons and tokens and stuff. So I'm just going to start releasing them here soon. And then still continue on probably with the live streams on occasion. Which weekends are best for me right now? I might try to do like a weekly Saturday stream or something like that. But I'm not going to bring it down to a schedule, but it seems like the Saturday streams are working out the best for me. Because it's also when I hit the flea markets, and that's usually when I have the most stuff. I appreciate it, Amy. I may take you up on that sometime after I get some rest up my wrist for a while and get back into it. I really appreciate that, though. I will definitely, you know, when I get back into more detecting, I'll definitely keep your offer in mind. There's something, even though my wrist has been bothering me, there's actually one permission I really, really, really need to get to. There's some stuff I've been doing behind the scenes that I haven't been talking about on YouTube, but I've actually been working with some nonprofits to metal detect, and what do I want to say? The arrangements have varied. Some of the nonprofits I've been well, a lot of them offering to turn over anything valuable I find, or sometimes like things that are historic. I don't want to get into it now, but I've actually been working with some nonprofits to metal detect like older properties in land that they own. And there's one place I haven't been able to get to yet that is actually on the top of my list of a place I've wanted to metal detect for years. So I really need to get that out of the way first. That's something I just need to do when I have time. And if I do, it's going to make a really good video. Colleen, I'm not sure what that is. I'll have to look that up. All right, Sebastian, have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. It was good chatting too. I appreciate the help with the coins. You know about the monarchs and the British and the Canadian stuff obviously a lot better than I do, because it's much more in your neck of the woods. So I appreciate you chiming in and helping out with that too. Take it easy. Les, how's it going? Thank you, Plugs. I appreciate it. Yeah. You remember the good old 10-hour live streams? Maybe I'll have to revive one of those someday. Get a bunch of coins, a bunch of thrift stuff, a bunch of food. But yeah, before I get back into the streams, though, I just need to get back into getting some normal videos up first, because that's what most people are actually looking for. It's just the normal pre-recorded videos. Let's see here. All right. I think I'm going to go in a little bit here. I'm not going to stay too much longer. I got some stuff to do. I'm probably going to try to make it a little bit of an earlier night. How's the basement coming along? I honestly have done next to nothing down there. I've demoed a little bit more of the electric that I needed to take out, and prep the walls more. I'm actually this summer I'm planning on getting the walls and then finishing what I need to do to the ceiling, all the installations out, almost all of it. I just got little scraps and pieces I got to pull out. That was a nightmare because it was like that blown in insulation. It was horrible. That old stuff. Yeah, I haven't done much to the basement. I've gotten some other stuff done though. I've actually focused more on getting yard stuff done, like landscaping type stuff over the last year. Didn't work as much on the inside of the house, except a few things. Oh yeah, mudlarking's fun. Just mudlarking, it's not old enough in Tennessee. Well, I mean, when I say not old enough, I mean for like, you're usually not going to find a lot of stuff here. And unfortunately, with TVA owning most of the waterways, it's actually illegal to take artifacts out of the water. So if you find like arrowheads and stuff, it's really sad that you can't do that, but it's just the way it is. Okay, I'll give you guys a little sneak peek at that little video I'm going to release here shortly. So I picked up this random bag of mostly buttons from a thrift store for 50 cents, but there was more than just buttons in there. Let me just put it, there was actually a small handful of kind of semi-historic non-metallic tokens in there. Let's leave it broadly like that. And I was going to shoot a little video of it, pulling the odds and ends out of there. And there was like an interesting old stamp in there as well. But yeah, a bunch of just vintage old buttons, but there was some goodies mixed in. So it took 50 cents, and there was a lot more value than 50 cents in the bag. I'll just leave it at that. But it was something that just went under the radar. Like anybody could have picked up this bag. It probably was even sitting there for a while. It's just something that doesn't look interesting to most people. But to me, I was like, yeah, that's something I want to go through. Thank you, Colleen. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm getting really old, Plugs. Then make a super chat, Plugs, and I'll give you a dunk. Yeah, I'm getting old. If people want to dunk, they gotta pay up. I'm not just doing freebies. Yeah, it's like, wait, can I still dunk? Oh. Ah. I could do a dunk like that if somebody super chats. I'll do like a standing bounce dunk like that. I'll do an old man's dunk. You got a super chat, 99 cents. We'll do the old man dunk. Let me move this. Let's see here. Yeah, actually, I think I'm gonna get some of these video. I'm gonna get at least one of these videos edited, maybe tonight even. I'm just gonna get some videos ready, and then I'll get ready for the maybe the more vlog style stuff. I just think I need to do it. Get back into the zone. Because I was on a tear there for a while. I got back into the filming and post daily for like 10 days. Got some videos cranked out, and then I just started my booth, and I just stopped posting again. Just started doing the live streams again. Yeah, wheelchair dunks. Now that's kind of difficult. All right, I'm going to move this light here before I knock this beast of a light over. Ugh. Yeah, Paula, you might enjoy the last stream because, man, the jar of jewelry I went through was massive. It took like hours. Oh, Amy said dunk dunk. I appreciate the $2 super chat. Let's do it. Wait, okay. I guess here's the old man dunk. Ready? Ah! Man, I popped something too. I felt something pop. My collarbone's been popping a lot recently, but I felt like it was more in the shoulder. Oh, wait. I got something else here. Don't ask me why I bought this, but I didn't know exactly what it was when I bought it. Otherwise, it was quality made because there's cork all around it. So I picked this up at a thrift store for $1.50. You can see it's all cork. It says body good. And it's like a real heavy material on the inside that's like laminated. Here, it's a yoga wheel that I didn't know, but it's perfect. Perfect for when I need to pop my SI joint back in. Instead of using a basketball, I can put this between my legs and squeeze, and it actually helps pop my SI joint back in that sometimes goes out because I have like a lopsided pelvis. So I have like all kinds of issues that somebody my age shouldn't have. But this is going to be perfect for aging JD. Like, this is it right here. So the next super chat, tell you what, I'll do a fancy dunk. I'll throw the ball up through the yoga wheel, grab it, and dunk while I'm holding it. So that'll be incentive for the next super chat. Plug said it's for cracking your back. I know it's for like rolling on it, but what are you supposed to do with it? Here, I got to pull up a. Wait, there's got to be a YouTube video. There's got to be some yoga channel in here that'll show you how to use a yoga wheel. Let's see. How to use a yoga wheel. Oh, you're right. Oh, nah, there's no way I'm doing that. There's no way. There's no way I'm doing that back thing. Hold on, I gotta watch. I can't do volume stuff. Yeah, you're supposed to, put your back on it and wheel it. Is that even safe though if you roll that down your spine? Like, I feel like that could go terribly wrong. No. We're not gonna be doing that. Yoga wheel for back pain stretches, strengthening, and back massage with a yoga wheel. Use a yoga wheel for back pain relief. Yeah, I guess it's mostly for the back. How to stretch your psoas, which is what I need. I might have to watch that one. Yes, lay and roll on it. I don't know if I'm going to be doing that. Okay. But anyway, knew these things are like $40. Got it for $1.50. It was actually half off of 3 because it was his Salvation Army. It was half off sticker day. It had a blue sticker on it. And I bought it and decided to figure out what to do with it later. Let's see here. And I'll do that dunk anyway. I'm just joking. I don't want to feel like I'm bribing my subscribers. You must pay. No, I'll do the dunk anyway. Nobody has to send a super chat. But if you do, I won't complain. Let's do the yoga wheel. Let's do the yoga wheel dunk now. This will be fun. I could actually do some pretty fancy stuff with this. I don't want it to go too crazy right now, though. Let's do this. Let's see how we're going to do this here. I can do that. I can do. Let me see. Let me try something here. This would be tricky. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Oh, that'd be tricky to try to bounce it up through there and dunk. I can't. It doesn't have enough air in it to do that. I'm testing now. Let's see. Or I could throw it through here and then windmill. No, that won't work. I can't do that. That's too difficult. It's too difficult. Let's see here. Let's do a basic one for now. I'm going to throw it up through here and then dunk it. Go from the side here. Oh, I almost accidentally scored. Ah! Okay. There's the yoga wheel dunk. I'll try to come up with some more harder ones later. Yeah, I just have to make sure this thing's not on the floor and I step on it or land on it. That could like really take you out. Oh, here's another thing I might do on the streams too, because it's kind of boring to do it by myself too. I've actually been getting small furniture pieces that I've been refinishing. I've been finding some cool stuff, so I may refinish and like paint and redo some furniture while I'm live on a stream, just because why not? I'll just stream instead of just sitting here. So I may do some of that too. We'll do furniture refinishing, and coin roll hunting. I'll do it all. I'll try to do a little bit of everything in the thrift stuff. All right, guys. I think I'm going to call it a night here. Yeah, sometimes I'll stream over at my mom's place too. She's actually been helping me. She likes to do like the small painting things, so she's been helping me paint like some small random stuff. So yeah, I might do some streams while I'm over there too. Yeah, so I guess that's about it. I think I'm going to wrap it up now. Thanks again to everyone for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this little treasure hunt. That was quite fun. Haven't done anything like that in a little bit of in a while. And yeah, so I'm gonna try to release some videos soon, and we're just gonna roll with it and keep an eye out for the live streams, because I probably will do them spontaneously when I'm able to get some coins and when I do some when I get some rare treasures and stuff that I pick up. So yeah, we'll just continue on. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you next time.